Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about our buys, sells, and dividends for the week of October 15th to October 21st. Let's get it. So the first thing that I would like to show you guys is our Robinhood portfolio. As you guys can see, we are missing our Enfley shares. Basically, more or less what we did was we sold out of that position for a tiny profit. It was like, I think, $2 or $3 or something like that. And decided to swap that for Triple QY and JEPY because we think that's going to pay more income. Now, we do plan on picking up more shares of Enfley, but we're not going to do that until after the ex-dividend dates pass for both the Defiance ETFs and for CLIP. So let's actually go over to Enfley to show you guys what we're talking about here. So as you guys can see, we did get paid the dividend from Enfley, $7.13, but the earnings for Netflix and Tesla were on the 18th, and as a result of the Netflix earnings, which was extremely bullish, the price skyrocketed like I forget how much it was. I think it was like 11 or 12% in one day. So it was a pretty huge jump and just out of nowhere all of a sudden. So we sold for a small profit, as you guys can see here with our market sell. And yeah, we moved that money into Triple QY here. We basically did like a 50-50 split between Triple QY and JEPY because we feel like we don't have enough shares of this yet, and we have a lot of shares of the YieldMax ETFs. So you guys can see the double split there. So now we're going to go over to M1. So basically, here's what we got paid for this week in terms of dividends. We got 57 cents from Horizon. Still need to get that position up. 385 from OARC, 102 from Apple, 745 from NVIDIA, 317.01 from Tesla, and 1 cent from PSEC. Again, we're not selling anything that's out of the money. We're going to wait until it's in profit to potentially take a look at taking profits if it makes sense to do so at that time. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. So we're basically just in a holding pattern right now on Tesla and the other YieldMax ETFs. So going back to Robinhood, we can kind of go through these here. You guys can see that we haven't really bought anything here, but we did get 1550 from OARC. I believe we have not bought any clip this week, not yet at least. Nope, no clip this week. Although we did get this 108.27 back here in dividends. That was definitely pretty nice. So we're going to go over to Tesla. As you guys can see, we haven't really bought any Tesla. It's actually been quite some time since we bought Tesla. But we got 28.85 from TSLY on this platform. We got 631 from Apple. So Apple had an increase this month, which was definitely nice. I know a lot of people were bearish on Apple and they're like, oh, Apple's not paying anything. Guys, you just got to be patient. Okay. The payouts are going to fluctuate from month to month. We knew this. Everybody knows this. Okay. It's just, I mean, again, it all comes back to risk tolerance. You know, if you got too much skin in the game and it's making you a little fidgety, well, not financial advice, but you might want to reconsider how much money you have invested. So we always like to make sure we have plenty of cash on the side just to help weather some of that bearish sentiment in the market. So the Meta FB ETF paid us 586. We keep on scrolling down. Coney was a pretty juicy one. We were pretty excited about that. So we got 1511 from Coney, as you guys can see here. We have not purchased any shares basically since the beginning of this month. GUI, which is definitely another one I plan on buying more of because I'm actually, I myself personally am very bullish on Google as well as these other big tech companies. So 312 from GUI. Again, haven't bought any GUI for quite some time. We go down to AMZ. you guys can see that we got 570 from AMSI. Haven't bought any AMSI in quite a while, but again, we have a lot of the YieldMax ETFs and not so much, and a lot of Clip as well, but not so much of the Defiance ETFs. So we're kind of trying to even that out, so to speak. So we go in the history here of the Triple QY. You guys can see that we have been buying this pretty aggressively over the weeks. So we bought 50 here, 10 here, and then we had, looks like 60, 60, 15, 60, and then 120. This was the double split from the money that we had in Enfly. So we now currently have 29 shares of Triple QY and 10 shares of JEPY. And we go to the history of JEPY. You guys can see that we basically bought one share here to kind of test the waters, so to speak, see what we were going to get paid. We did get paid. And then we did the double split here on JEPY, and we bought a little bit more of JEPY this morning because, again, we ramped up pretty quickly on Triple QY. We're now up to 30 shares in like a week and a half or something, and so we wanted to get some more JEPY as well. So that covers M1 and Robinhood. Now we're going to take a look at the Webull platform. So as you guys can see here on the dividends, the three payments we got were 2812 from OARC, 669 from Apple, and 7584 from NVIDIA. And I can just kind of show you guys our overall dividends here. As you guys can see, we've gotten paid from many of these multiple times. And since we're on here, I actually wanted to show you guys, like, don't feel bad. Well, I shouldn't say don't feel bad, but just understand that, if you guys are in a drawdown, we're in a drawdown as well. We're down about 3K on our Tesla position on M1 alone. I'm actually going to show you guys that here right now. Okay, some kind of weird glitch going on there, but as you guys can see, our cost basis 9,300, but the current value of it is 6,300. So we're down about $3,000 on this position alone. But at the same time, if you take a look at our total account value here on this particular platform, you guys can see that it says 9,300, but our open is negative 3,200. That's for the entire portfolio. Again, you guys have to understand August and September are typically pretty bearish. It usually rolls over into the first 2 weeks of October, but sometimes it goes on closer towards the end of the month. Apparently, this is one of those times. We thought at this point that the markets would start going up, but really and honestly, not so sure at this point. I guess one reason why the markets might be kind of rolling over a little bit is because, as I'll show you guys here, we're going to talk about this a little bit later when we get into our macro video. If you guys pay attention to that, you'll see us talking about that in this. But as you guys can see, the gap between the 2-year, 10-year treasury bonds has gotten really small. So it's basically 16 percentage points at this point. So once the 10-year gets below the 2-year, or sorry, what I meant to say is once the 2-year starts yielding less than the 10-year, the 2-year goes back below the 10-year, that is considered to be uninverted. And usually bad things happen in the market when that happens. We expect the opposite is going to happen. Markets are going to go up because markets went down last year, but we'll just have to wait and see. So as you guys can see here on a lot of our positions, we're kind of getting walloped. We're a little under on Riot. We're getting hit pretty hard here on NVIDIA because it finally did have the pullback, and we haven't bought anything on this platform in quite some time. We're getting smashed pretty badly on Mara, and as a matter of fact, Riot and Mara are so cheap at this point that we're actually considering putting some money in right now to kind of reduce our cost basis. So Clip's down, ORC's down quite a bit. I mean, if we bought anything on this platform, we're reducing our cost basis a substantial amount at this point. Apple is down. This is one of our swing trades. SoundHound, unfortunately, is getting kind of pounded right now. So We may add some in the future, but that's not our top priority right now. Our top priority is crypto and dividend paying stocks, and also very similar with ALT, although we think ALT is bottoming out and about ready to go up. So, last thing that I want to bring up to you guys is our crypto buys on Fidelity. So, as you guys can see here, for the last week, we have basically literally bought nothing but the LTCN Trust. Reason being is because, well, as we've stated to you guys before on our LTCN price prediction video, we think that, so basically, from the current price to the previous peak of LTCN, you're talking about 100x on your money. And for BCHG, it would be roughly about a 40x from current prices to the top of BCHG. So LTCN, in our opinion, has a much greater upside. If we only captured half of that, you're talking a 50x on your money. So versus half of BCHG would only be a 20x, which 20x is still really good, but 50x is better. So that's the reason why we're putting all of, or I shouldn't say all of our money, but a lot of the money into LTCN. Just so you guys know, we have been up, we have been down. I think our maximum in the money position so far was about $300, but again, we're not selling because we expect to make way more money than $300 on these positions. So this is kind of where we stand. Basically, just buying LTCN right now. We're at 1,400, 303 shares on this, 770, 442 shares on BCHG. And so, yeah, that is our buys, sells, and dividends for this week. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see y'all later. Peace.